The first of two qualifying races here at Markelo. The Group A lot got away with Willemsen from the left-hand side, making an absolutely terrific start, grabbing the whole shot as the strong pack streamed around in these deep, deep sandy conditions. Earlier activity on the track had made it pretty much that there were very few lines, and the ruts cut out very, very deeply. But Etienne Bax chased Willemsen hard, so the leading two Dutch crews, as you would have expected on home soil, broke away from the chasing pack. There was a lot of activity further down, a couple of comings together. One or two crews were upside down, but up ahead, Willemsen and Bax and Koen Hermans making a really, really good fist of it. Brett Wilkinson and Dan Chamberlain with their left-handed sidecar carved through from the melee earlier on, and they were very quickly up to 5th place. Wilkinson getting stronger as the season wore on. This, the last round, of course, would prove to be very, very difficult in the deep sand, but he had a really good showing. Wilkinson and Chamberlain were strong indeed, having a race-long fight with Arne Dierkens, eventually getting the better of him. The Chermak brothers struggled a bit in the deep sand. They hadn't made their customary quick start, but they were involved in a race-long scrap. 4 crews locked together through the deep, deep sand, pushing and pushing and pushing. But Thomas and Andre Chermak made the most of it. Then drama. Etienne Bax stalled it. Whether he tipped it, we did not see, but he had to fire the thing up. This left Willemsen way out in the lead. Willemsen and Robbie Bax were well clear. Etienne Bax almost fell into the clutches of Koen Hermans as the Chermaks had their race-long scrap with the number 17 crew. That was Varick and Dido's, Loris Stylers too. But at the front, Willemsen and Robbie Bax absolutely supreme. The 10 times world champion, not for nothing is he a class act. He showed it all the way to the finish, and there was absolutely no catching him. But a reinvigorated Koen Hermans riding the number 8 bike with Kenny van Halen closed on Etienne Bax. And whilst Willemsen took the checkered flag and victory in Group A, Etienne Bax had to look to his laurels because Koen Hermans almost passed them. But it was Willemsen indeed who'll move through to take that prime grid slot as a result of his qualification. Group B got underway, and it was every bit as much of a frantic charge, with Valentin Giraud getting the advantage, but only just, because young Julian Veldman and Ben van der Bogart carrying the number 31 plate, local Dutchman in deep sand, they were the specialists. They pushed and pushed and pushed, and they chased Giraud so hard. Marvin van Lucien, the young Belgian, carrying the number 11 plate, doing an absolutely brilliant job. New passenger Patrick Schneider this weekend with Lucien. Stuart Brown and Joe Millard with their left-handed sidecar had an incredibly fast line around that left-hander by the trees. They were to eventually wear down Van Lucien. Meanwhile, Valentin Giraud and Elvis Muchenieks, the number 9 crew, appeared to be having a tough time. They looked ragged, and in fact they were ragged, and in the end almost succumbed to Koen Hermans, but they did succumb to Julian Veldman. Veldman went ahead. There was no stopping the 18-year-old Dutchman as he just forced on. 4-stroke power at the front it was, but Stuart Brown and Joe Millard were coming. They were coming hard, chasing hard, and they were very quickly up behind Giraud. Further down the order though, the number 19 crew, Arne Dierkens and Luc Rostang, his French passenger, really going well as Brown forced ahead of Van Lucien. Brown then only had clear air between himself and the second place man, Valentin Giraud, and it was only a matter of 2 laps before Brown was on him and over the tabletop jump through. That move though was short-lived because Giraud took the very first opportunity. Once he was alongside, he fired his AMS-powered WHT right into the wheel tracks of Brown, and at the very next corner, the Frenchman was through. Meanwhile, Julian Veldman, the youngster, the young pretender, on home soil, took the checkered flag, and Brown was able to fend off a determined challenge from the Frenchman. Only just, though, Brown it was who got it.